Arthritis applies to more than 100 different conditions, ranging from the relatively mild condition of tendinitis to the more crippling forms, such as rheumatoid arthritis. A common factor in all forms of arthritis is joint and musculoskeletal pain caused by inflammation. Secondary to pain, clients with arthritis can experience limited mobility, difficulty performing activities of daily living, difficulty performing tasks associated with their work, and disruption of family life. For those who are diagnosed with arthritis, learning to live with and manage it is paramount. There are a myriad of treatment options to help people deal with arthritis, such as pain medication, diet, exercise, and various alternative therapies. This video will explore how spirituality can be an invaluable resource for those living with arthritis. Susan was diagnosed with arthritis a year ago. As she reflects in this video on the place of spirituality in her journey with arthritis, I hope that you will realize the value of spirituality in dealing with this chronic health problem. I also hope that you will see the importance of incorporating spirituality into your clinical practice, and will gain some ideas on how to do this. The first place the clinician begins is with himself or herself, as being aware of one's own spiritual positioning is essential in ensuring that the clinician is therapeutic with the client. The client's concept of spirituality is then explored. As such, will guide the clinician's work in a manner that is appropriate for the client.
I think the word spirituality for me means a lot of different things. I think a lot of times people relate it to religion, and I don't always, because I don't consider myself a very religious person, but I consider myself a spiritual person. So I think that I've heard someone explain it this way, that religion is when you follow the guidelines that someone else has laid out, and spirituality is when you follow the guidelines that you feel are a true or a good way for you to live your life. So I really like that the spirituality part is putting more onus on you and yourself to do what you think is right, not really what someone else dictates. That might be a little bit rigid. And I think that with spirituality you can take from different religions some beliefs and some ideas, but you can be a little bit more flexible for what you think is right. I think with my own spiritual well-being, I think that I'm more positive and I'm more proactive in that. I think it's more of not sitting down waiting for something to happen or someone to fix a problem that you have or a way that you're going with your life. I'm more on what can I do to make my life better? What can I do to enrich my life and the people's lives who I share my life with? And I'm really big into positive thinking and that kind of thing. So I think that hasn't always been the case for me. That's sort of the last 4 or 5 years that I've been really thinking about those things. So I think that with arthritis, I think that that's benefited me a great deal because I'm not just sort of what I would think of as more of a passive way of looking for someone to fix it or asking for someone to fix it. What can I do for myself? What will I do that will help me with this issue, or what can I do to help support me in this issue?
From these brief remarks, the clinician can determine that Susan does consider herself to be spiritual, albeit not religious. This remark points out the reality that while for some people their spirituality is intricately connected to religion, such is not always the case. Yet, all people are spiritual beings. We also see Susan's high degree of self-efficacy, a theme that is prominent throughout this video. Although further assessment is in order, a clinician might conclude that Susan has a relatively high degree of spiritual well-being. Spiritual well-being has been noted to bring meaning and direction to life, and to give people inner strength to overcome the impact of chronic illness. It is important for clinicians to assess the spiritual beliefs and practices of clients. Spiritual beliefs are important because they can provide leverage to help clients. For example, in helping them to find meaning and purpose in life, or within the context of a condition like arthritis. Knowing the spiritual practices of clients enables clinicians to facilitate and to provide encouragement to those clients to engage in practices that they find helpful.
I do believe there's a greater power in the world, and something is certainly guiding us along our lives. And I think that's helpful because I think everything happens for a reason, and I think you have to learn certain things from life and the experiences that you have in life. And if you have a lot of negative things happen, you can't just let that get you down, or you can't just let that sway you. You have to really look at it and think, okay, how can I learn from this? How can I be a better person because of this? And so I think I let it influence me in that way. And I think with arthritis, I'm lucky that it's not too serious at this point in my life, and I've been able to do the yoga with a group of people who have had arthritis, and it's allowed me to see, the different levels of it and how those people who have it in a more serious way than I do, they don't let it stop them. They do so many different things, and it's been really an inspiration to see that. I have to take this, I have to learn from it. I'm not just going to sit here and deal with it or just let it take over my life. That kind of thing. You have to look at it, be proactive with it. I don't go to church or any other institutions like that, but with the yoga that I'm learning to do, and I'm learning to be a yoga teacher, we do a lot of practices with meditation and visualization, and just even the yoga itself can be, sort of a little spiritual break, time for yourself, time to reflect, connect with your body, and just do something for yourself. So I do those things. I do some visualization techniques and meditation. So I find that really helps me, even clearing my mind and helping stay positive through the pain and things like that. I find that's very helpful. I don't really engage in prayer as such, like the prayers that I would have thought about when I went through my Catholic upbringing in school. I don't really pray that way, but I do visualizations, and I do positive thoughts, and I do meditations where you sort of think about a person who is in need of help or some kindness in some way. So I do those meditations, and I believe that they're sort of the same way in praying, is that you might not be asking a higher power to do something, which is sort of what I think prayer is, but you're sending that person energy and you're sending that person light, and I think that's really important. And I think in essence that's what prayer really does. It's really just thinking about the person, sending them positive energy.
From Susan's comments, a clinician can determine her particular spiritual beliefs that can help in the development of a therapeutic plan. For example, Susan's beliefs that a greater power guides her, that everything happens for a reason, and that you have to learn from life's experiences and be proactive, can all facilitate the development of meaning and purpose in the midst of this condition, and perhaps in the condition itself. Yoga, visualization, and meditation are spiritual practices which help Susan deal with the impact of arthritis. Clinicians need to be aware of the universal spiritual needs of all people, such as the need for meaning and purpose, forgiveness,